I think Matthew Stafford is finally part of the NFL narrative.
Did you realize that you were a champion in their eyes?
Hello, everyone. My name is Derek, and welcome back to the Gridiron Blitz. On this channel, we are predominantly Detroit Lions, but we also live stream games as well. We do all the primetime games. We also do some college live streams, so make sure you subscribe. And if you do, hit that notification bell for your preference, either all if you want to see everything or personalized if you just want to see what you like. As a Detroit Lions fan, it's been tough. It's been tough not to talk about Matthew Stafford every chance you get because he has been our quarterback for the last 12 years. And now, after requesting a trade, he has moved on. Well, an article came out yesterday by an ESPN reporter that accompanied a video, and Matthew Stafford said some things in that video that kind of didn't sit well with me. He said that he wanted to play in big games against good teams other times than 1 o'clock on Sunday. Now, we've seen Matthew Stafford. We've seen what he can do. We've been part of those 3 playoff games, all losses. But at this point, I got to give a shout out to my fellas, Noble Sports Entertainment and Detroit Lions Talk with MICROMIKE, who really kind of opened my eyes. I've been so blinded by the fact that it's about my team, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, that I missed the fact that Matthew Stafford is now a part of the NFL narrative. I'm going to make a prediction this year. Because of that, he will win his first playoff game coming up this year in the 2021 season. Matthew Stafford is the same quarterback he was now that he was in 2009. He might be a little more seasoned. Some would even say he's better. He's more mature. He knows the game a little bit better. But what he was never a part of in a good way was the NFL narrative. I can also tell you that in my honest opinion, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady on the NFC side will be part of that narrative as well, with, of course, Patrick Mahomes on the other side. But also you have Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. Look for the Cleveland Browns to be part of that as well. I think some of Matthew Stafford's remarks in the article were laughable. You say that you wanted to play against good teams when the Lions have had one of the toughest schedules in the last 5 years. This year, they are tied for sixth toughest. Last year, it was up there too. I want to say 5 or 6, somewhere around there, based on opponents' winning percentage. So for you to be able to play in a big game against good teams is also kind of laughable. Talked about this with my guys, MICROMIKE and Noble Sports Entertainment. Matthew Stafford had opportunities to play in big games. One of those opportunities was in 2014 when we could have won our division. 2011 again, where that division, the NFC North, came down to a last game against the same team, the Green Bay Packers. Another reason why I think the NFL will push the Matthew Stafford narrative, ever since he's left the city of Detroit, he has now been the talk of everyone's town. Matthew Stafford almost didn't exist in the city of Detroit, and ever since he's arrived in LA, that's all everyone could talk about. So it's only fitting that the NFL push that. Can this guy, with the team around him, all he needed was a team, and the LA Rams are that team. They had a team, they just needed a quarterback. This storyline could have been getting prepped for quite some time. Matthew Stafford house was up for sale last year at the beginning of the 2020 season. He sold his house, and everybody was like, is this the time that Matthew wants to get out? He then buys a house in LA. Now, that could just be a coincidence. They do happen. But according to the article, Matthew Stafford knew he wanted to get out of Detroit after the loss to the Minnesota Vikings the last game of the season. If you watched any interview, you knew that that was the case as well. Here's another thing that makes me believe that Matthew Stafford has entered the NFL's narrative. Shortly after requesting that trade, he meets with soon-to-be teammate Andrew Whitworth to go to Cabo. Now, when they get to Cabo, who else is there? Sean McVay. Now, you could say that that's a coincidence. Believe it or not, coincidences are not as frequent as they appear. A coincidence is a remarkable concurrence of events or circumstances without any apparent connection. Matthew Stafford, soon after requesting a trade from the Detroit Lions, goes to Cabo, where Sean McVay is already located. Then a few weeks later, Matthew Stafford is a LA Ram. If you don't believe that the NFL has storylines and driven narratives, then you would be mistaken. Just pay attention to the game and you will see them. I want you to leave it in the comments below. When did you know that the NFL was storyline driven? When did you know that it was about narratives more than wins and losses? For me, it came kind of late. It's always been in front of my face. Being a Detroit Lions fans, all the times that we've been messed over from the Houston Texan obviously being down and it not being called, to the Hail Mary that should have never happened when the Detroit Lions faced off against the Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football, and it was a phantom hands to the face call that allowed the Green Bay Packers to then win with a walk-off field goal. That is when it was cemented for me that the NFL was 100% storyline driven. And that's why I say when the NFL is ready for the Detroit Lions to be part of that narrative is when they will be. Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford has now switched places. Even when Jared Goff was in LA, he still didn't get this much of a storyline. But the question I have is, will Jared Goff be able to now write his own storyline, being outcast from that very team that went to the Super Bowl 3 years ago? Leave it in the comments below. Have you seen or read the Matthew Stafford article? And if so, what are your thoughts? I would love to hear them. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.